So my name's Matt Neuhoff. I'm the general manager of the Winston-Salem permanent display facility for WestRock. WestRock's a really large paper company, but we have a business segment that's part of our container division called merchandising display, where we make retail displays that are designed to hold product and merchandise product in different retail outlets across the country. I help manage the permanent display segment of merchandising display, where we use more permanent materials to make those displays. So a lot of what we make is made out of metal, wood, plastic, wire. Here in Winston-Salem, we have what we call a value-added business model. We do a lot of design and engineering here. We also have some thin gauge roll-fed thermoforming production capabilities and a digital printing and converting operation. And so the Crest cutter is a part of that digital printing and converting operation. We are, when you consider the depth and breadth of the capabilities of all of merchandising display, absolutely. We've got, short run digital production capabilities all the way up to very sophisticated litho printing capabilities. And then from a cutting perspective, we've got pretty significant capabilities where that's concerned. In the digital printing and converting facility, we use CAD tables. And then we have cutting capabilities all the way up to rotary die cutting. So very high speed, significant throughput. And so the Crest was purchased to fit into a niche that we didn't really have covered very well. We could produce and cut materials at the really low end for test programs. We had the ability to produce and cut materials for very long run packaging applications, but we didn't have something that was good for sort of that middle of the road quantity or versioning that our customer uses. So we acquired the Crest to try and fill that niche. It's done pretty well. Right now we're running the machine one shift, 5 days a week, but we're getting ready to scale up to 2 shifts. We took an older machine, old clamshell die cutting machine that we had been running. We took that out of service. It didn't have a lot of the safety features that the Crest has, and we didn't feel good about running it any longer. We were experiencing significant maintenance expenses associated with that. So we've taken that machine offline, and now we're gonna run the Crest 2 shifts. And I think eventually, probably within the next 6 months, we'll probably ramp up to 3 shifts on that machine because the volume that we have that's well suited for that application continues to grow. And as we make it available to other people within our operation, other facilities within our operation, there's just more and more demand every day. So I think the business was always there. I just think that we weren't running it as efficiently as we could have been. So one of the things that WestRock's really big on is operational excellence or performance excellence, Six Sigma. There's a lot of names for it. We call it operational excellence. And so when we acquired the Crest and we got it installed, we started up a continuous improvement project to track the cost savings associated with using that equipment over some other equipment that we maybe had available, but wasn't as efficient. Maybe we were running jobs that were too big on some of our digital cutting tables, and maybe we were having additional setups on some of our longer run machines because we were running jobs that weren't suited for those machines because of the quantity. And so now that we've started to bring those jobs to the Crest, we've been tracking the cost savings associated with that. And since October of last year through August of last month, we've calculated about almost $120,000 in cost savings associated with reducing the number of setups that weren't appropriate for our longer run equipment, and taking jobs that were resource hogs on our digital equipment, just taking way too long. We were running jobs on that equipment that was taking 10, 15, 20 hours of production time to cut. And we've taken those jobs and moved them over to the Crest. And, now some of those jobs that are 20 hours of production time, we've got them, reduced to 2 or 3 hours of production time, including the setup. So it's a much more efficient way to get some of those medium run jobs produced. Not quite yet. Probably give us another 6 months. Last month, in the month of August, I guess it's October now, so we haven't tabulated the numbers for September yet, but in the month of August, we saw cost savings of $31,000. So a few more months of that, and we'll be right there at the point where the machine is paid for itself. So, and that meets and exceeds the ROI calculations that we had to submit to get approval for the capital to buy the machine. So, we do a post-mortem on all of these capital expenses, and we'll look really good on that one. And it'll give us the opportunity to consider a second one. Yeah, I'm just making the business look good. I'm not so worried about me. But yeah, it was a good decision. Anytime you can meet or exceed the return on investment assumptions that you make when you request capital for a large purchase like that, it bodes well for the business for sure. We started talking about buying equipment from him in the context of repairing some old machines that we had here, some old Thompson die cutters that we were using, old value line die cutters that we were using. And through his network, My Press Needs was able to help us facilitate some repairs on some machines that are, really out of use in the United States. There's, a lot of them are running in other places, Latin America, South America, but not so much here in North America. So he was able to help us keep those machines up and running, and we were real appreciative of that. And his expertise is very helpful where that's concerned. We went and saw one of the Crest cutters running at another customer in California. Mm-hmm. We were really impressed with it. We were actually looking at some of the soft cut technology that he's really helped to pioneer. Rob really helped push the transaction over the threshold. WestRock has a large legal department, and anytime you go through a capital purchase like that, there's multiple layers of approval that it has to go through, and he worked through that process really quickly. His team set up a delivery schedule, and they kept us well informed, and they met all the milestones in that delivery schedule. We were able to coordinate delivery and installation pretty seamlessly. And then we didn't have a trained or experienced operator to run the machine. And so through Rob and My Press Needs, and then through his network as well, we've been able to bring some experts in to kind of help us get some people up to speed on how to run the machine. And I think now we've got some people who are really well trained and really understand the capabilities of the machine. We've been able to get setup times reduced dramatically over where we started. And so it's running really well. And Rob's been and my press needs has been there every step of the way. We had some problems, some issues after the initial installation where setup times were taking longer than we had expected. We were having some quality issues where we were having print to cut registration problems. And again, he was able to reach out to his network and get some folks in here who could really help our operators and the operations team work through those issues. We also had a problem. We had a self-induced maintenance issue with the machine. We had an operator make a mistake and cycle the machine with where the die wasn't in place properly, and it created a problem where the two platens weren't aligned properly. And Rob again reached out to his network and was able to get some folks in here over a weekend. Actually, they flew on a Friday, performed the initial repairs on that Friday, and then stayed on Saturday while we were running the machine to make sure that it was operating effectively. So they've just been really helpful in getting us up to speed. Getting us through that initial installation, getting us up to speed, allowing us to improve our efficiencies, and keeping the equipment running. It's been a great experience. I mean, anytime someone in my position can, go through the process of identifying potential equipment, making a recommendation, executing on that recommendation, and then having it meet and beat the expectations that we established for the leadership of the organization who have to sign off on those capital purchases, it really makes my job a lot easier, and it adds credibility to what we're doing. And in such a large organization like WestRock, that's important. It's important for the leadership team to know that they can count on us to deliver against the goals, objectives that are set for us, as well as the goals and objectives that we set for ourselves. And capital equipment purchases are a big part of that. So I'm thankful that we partnered with my press needs and Crest.